It's a crucial game in the Cooperative Championship here at the Huntington Stadium in York. Relegation threatened York City Knights are in desperate need of a victory as they take on a Halifax side aiming to improve their playoff prospects. Well, we've had one result already this week in this latest round of the championship, and what a win it was as well for Featherstone Rovers against the Widnes Vikings at the Big Fellas Stadium. 56 points to 16, Darryl Powell's men won, and that's a significant win for Featherstone. It puts them back on the top of the table, ahead of the Lee Centurions on points difference, and the margin of that victory doing Rovers points difference a power of good. Of course, they also have a game in hand. Bryn Powell getting another hat-trick for Featherstone in that victory. Lee then second, Batley in third, then it's Widnes who are still fourth, Sheffield fifth, and Halifax in sixth place, but looking to move up, could still get fourth. Halifax, their opponents tonight, the York City Knights, down in 10th place in the table, only Toulouse below them. Toulouse, of course, dropping out of the championship at the end of this season, so it's between York, Hunslet and Dewsbury then for the drop. Two still going down. Of course, some debate over exactly what the structure is going to be in the championships next season, but as it stands, two go down, and York City Knights very much a candidate for the drop. A big game for them this evening then. And York going into this after another heavy defeat. Only two home wins this season, and they lost at Lee last weekend, 66 points to 10. They have James Haynes at fullback, then it's Tom Bush, Dave Sutton, Ryan Esders, Dennis Tufa, Anthony Thackeray, and significantly coming back after a 5-game absence, Chris Thorman with a broken thumb, not fully healed but determined to play this evening. Nathan Freer, Jack Lee, Alex Benson the front row, then it's Reece Clark, Matt Garside and Steve Lewis. And on the bench, Johnny Presley, Brett Waller, Ed Smith and Ben Jones. The coach, he's just signed a 2-year extension to his agreement with the club, Dave Woods. Now then, Halifax have injury problems. Still no Sean Penkovic, no Jim Gannon. John Goddard is out, and Sam Barlow failed a late fitness check, so he's out of this one as well. Miles Greenwood is at fullback. Then it's Paul White, Ryan Fieldhouse, James Haley, Rob Warrensey, Danny Jones and Anthony Bowman. In the forwards, Neil Cherryholm, Bob Bezic, outstanding against Widnes last week. The captain, Joe Chandler, starts for Halifax, Stephen Bannister, Ryan Clayton and Paul Smith. And on the bench, Dylan Nash. Ben Black returns after undergoing knee surgery recently, had a bit of a clean out. Michaeli Aizu and Frank Watine. The coach, Damien Ball. Well, Halifax coming out wearing their change strip. I say the coach is Damien Ball. He's actually not here this evening. Before he was appointed caretaker coach following Matt Callan's departure, Damien Ball arranged to attend a family wedding overseas, so Andy Proctor is in charge this evening as the York City Knights come onto the field. And always great support here for the York City Knights. Maybe not the biggest of attendances, but my word, they make themselves heard, especially when they're right underneath the gantry with a drum. There is Chris Thorman, and saying before the game that really he should probably be out for another 3 or 4 weeks with this thumb injury, but so keen to play, and he did get the all clear. There is the referee, Tim Roby, former York University student of philosophy, in actual fact, so back on familiar territory, and used to do his training at this very stadium, did Tim Roby. Well, now he's in charge of Halifax against York, and it's Halifax getting us underway with the boot of Danny Jones and Chris Thorman underneath it, and that's a left hand heavily strapped where that broken thumb is going to surely hamper him. 5 weeks he's been out, not fully fit, but this is such a significant game for the York City Knights. This is a must-win game for them.
They have a lot of points against them, and there's that hand. It's going to be very difficult for Thorman tonight, but he's such an important player with Anthony Thackeray and Johnny Presley on the bench. There's a lot of guile, a lot of intelligence in the house for York City Knights, but even a bonus point would help them tonight. They've won just 4 games all year, but Halifax, they've got that 4th position in their sights.
York. Crucial that they get a good start. Now Thorman's gone for a 40-20, but Warrensey, oh, he puts boot to ball, and that is an error from Warrensey. He's got away with it, and he's going to go now. Warrensey down the sidelines, good cover from Haynes, and they diffuse the danger, and he was in touch. Just Warrensey. That could have gone horribly pear-shaped for York, but it was good cover from the York City Knights in the end.
Well, he's an exciting player, Rob Warrensey, when he gets the ball, but you never know what he's going to come up with. 3 players were chasing up that kick. Unfortunately, go past the ball, but they cover back, and you can see that 4 players just pushing Rob Warrensey into touch. They get the ball back head and feet to York. But Rob Warrensey nearly in the clear, scored in the opening try.
Some debate whether Warrensey did actually hit the whitewash there, but I think his boot just grazed the sideline before he was able to get his body back in the field of play.
Well, that for me, Bill, was an indicator of how hard York are going to have to work on Warrensey. They actually ended up being past the ball. I don't think any of the York City Knights expected Warrensey to put it on the end of his toe. A little chip and chase. Here we see the incident.
Well, I think it's
never doesn't mind what we say, doesn't matter our opinion. The referee's given the scrum.
It's gone. Ball is in play, in possession of the York City Knights. So that was a bit of a let-off for them, because that's the sort of unpredictable situation that Warrensey revels in. Thorman. Here is Haynes now.
Yeah.
Former Skirler amateur, the York City Knights fullback, actually played Super League for Hull Kingston Rovers just the once. Here's Thorman, puts a grubber kick in, and Paul Smith is first to that one.
Well, he'll watch that again, Chris Thorman, and he won't be happy. He's got to make sure that he kicks behind that line. It was a very poor kick. He drops it onto the toe. It goes straight into Paul Smith.
Greenwood now. Benson, the captain, in to make the tackle. There is Chris Thorman, assistant coach to Dave Woods here as well. Now Ryan Clayton. Benson in to make the tackle. Bezic, Paul Smith, Cherryholm now. Cherryholm just tackled on the 40-metre line. That's the 5th tackle. Lee it was bringing him down. And Jones puts the kick in, and that is a good one. And Tufo back, and Tufo is hounded down. Good chase by Paul White.
Well, Paul White, a very exciting play. We constantly talk about Warrensey, White and Greenwood for the Halifax side. Not only can they run with the ball, defensively, they chase very hard.
York licking their wounds after that hammering at Lee last weekend, and altogether a pretty miserable performance from Dave Wood's side. A fact that he and Chris Thorman acknowledged and know that they've got to really improve here this evening. Dave Sutton now, former St Helens Academy youngster. Sutton bringing the ball in field. And that's the 5th tackle. Thorman inside his own 40. Will he try a 40-20 perhaps? He's gone for it, and that looks promising. Nobody at home. And he's got it, Thorman. He was teed up for that, had it fixed on his sights perfectly. And that's why it's so crucial to get Chris Thorman back into the side. Okay, his first couple of kicks haven't come off. That one did.
It's a marvellous kick from Thorman. Under a lot of pressure from Halifax. They'll have done their homework on York, and if Thorman is available, there's the bounce of the ball. Hinge perfect. If Thorman is available, don't give him time and space. He can put it on a dime, that lad.
There's his coach, Dave Woods. And this is a promising position for his side. First attacking option they've had, really, so far this evening. Coming up to 5 minutes on the clock, and Freer towards the line, but just short Nathan Freer. Jack Lee finds Thackeray. Thackeray ball over the top, finds Tom Bush, and Bush having to check and come back in field. Former Leeds youngster. And Bush plays the ball quickly, and Lee will go for it. Can he get it down? He's held up, I think. He's short, says the referee. For a moment, it looked on for Jack Lee there, and he was right to go for that. Here's Thorman now, shows it once, twice, and then finds Thackeray. Thackeray, oh, and the pass from Thackeray goes to ground. It went forwards as well.
Well, Anthony Thackeray in the space. You see that long looping set-piece play from left to right. Anthony Thackeray choosing the short ball option. But execution, ambition was right, execution was poor. The referee judged it was forward anyway. Good signs from the City Knights early on, though.
Matt Garside not on the same wavelength there as Thackeray. I'm not sure he was expecting the pass in the end.
It was the full set of six, Bill. The execution of the pass in a number of them players wasn't good enough. It's got to be in front of the man, and the man's got to be coming onto the ball. Give themselves a chance, York City Knights.
There's James Haley in possession for Halifax. Don't forget his testimonial kicks off next Thursday at the Shea. Longest server at the club, 10 years, and a well-earned testimonial getting underway next week, and plenty going on. There's a Masters game before the get-together in the bar at the Shea. Entrance is free. Here is Greenwood now. Bezic, man of the match against Widnes last week, an 80-minute performance. No Sean Penkovic again this week. I wonder if Bob Bezic will have to put it in again this week as Jones kicks deep downfield. You have to say the pitch here is not as lush and smooth as they're used to at the Shea. This one is less smooth, let's say. Let's be kind.
Well, Dave Woods, the York Knights, will be happy with the way that these players are playing, especially in defence, because conceding 66 points last week versus Lee tells you one thing: your defence wasn't good enough, and in contact they've got to work better, but they're looking at controlling and take away the speed of Halifax.
Thackeray, oh, that one's gone to ground, and again Garside couldn't take the pass. It was dipping away from him.
Well, this is Garside's second error in a short space of time. Never really confident passing that ball, just lunging, putting his arm out, hoping to catch it.
Came south from Gateshead Thunder with Dave Woods, Matt Garside. Now here's Greenwood. Sutton keeps a hold of him. St Helens link between those two, Greenwood and Dave Sutton. Sutton the more recent, and that's good work from Sutton. Quickly up on Warranty.
Well, that's what you've got to do on Warranty. You've got to make sure that you split forward at marker and work very hard. Again, good defence from York.
Clayton clattered, and 3 tackles gone, and they've only just progressed over the York 40-metre line. They might make a bit more progress now, but again, that's good work.
The spot in the ball carriers very well, York. In defence, a bit predicted from Halifax, this set of 6.
Lewis it was with the tackle, and Jones kicks over the top, inviting White to chase, and 2-4. Nowhere for him to go but over the dead ball line. First goal line drop out of the game. Dennis 2-4.
Well, brilliant kick pressure. Just look at that kick chase team. Bannister, Paul White yet again, doesn't want to give 2-4 any space to breathe.
Keep working, boys, stay behind.
Former London scholar Dennis 2-4.
Stay on, lads. Hold on.
So the goal line dropouts will reach Warranty. Lee misses the tackle, but Lewis is there to follow up.
Hold, Jack. Hold.
Benson in there as well, the captain leading from the front. Now here's Joe Chandler.
2. Move.
In the starting lineup, Chandler, because of Sam Barlow's unavailability. Jim Cannon also absent.
3. Move. Hold on, 10 out there.
3 tackles gone.
Go. It's 3.
Bannister plays the ball. Cherry home. Jones. Bowman now. Bowman. Greenwood stabs the kick in, and Greenwood will chase it himself, but it's well dealt with by Tom Bush. Took a bit of a ricochet there, but Bush was quickly onto it.
You've got to give credit to the way York are defending. Again, Halifax looking up, and there's nothing really on. They're presenting the line. No one's jumping out of line. Greenwood puts the kick in behind, but Bush was aware of that danger.
3.
Steve Lewis now. There is Tom Bush, the former Leeds Rhinos youngster. Played 4 Super League games for them before he was released. Not before he'd made a bit of a name for himself, scoring on his debut.
Wait. Go, well done. This will be 5.
That's the 5th.
5.
And York struggling for territory this time, so Thorman puts a good deep kick in. Back goes Greenwood to retrieve it, and then lays it off to White, and White, curving run from the winger, and White is away. He's just got one man to beat, it's Haynes, and Haynes makes the tackle. Well done from the full-back.
Fantastic kick return from Paul White, 60 metres.
Great tackle, though, from James Haynes, the last line of defence for the York City Knights there. If White had gone round him, then he was on his way. But it's still the pressure coming on. Chandler, ball back inside, and then Jones finds Bowman, and Bowman manages to get the pass away well. It's still alive, it's still with Greenwood. Greenwood gets the pass to Jones. Jones back to Smith. Halifax keeping it alive well, and Smith driving for the line, but he's held up just short. Bezic fancies it himself, and Bezic is held up. That's good defence from the York City Knights.
Well, it's Jack Lee. He spotted the danger from Bob Bezic. He knew that it was half-decent quick play of the ball. He was going to get out. This is the last tackle.
So Jones puts a little grubber kick in, and it's come up for Garside, and Garside, who hasn't made one stick so far this evening, has held on to that, and he's trying to bamboozle the fullback. Well, that's a great run from Matt Garside.
I love to see that in a play. He's had a couple of rough touches, picks the ball up, backs himself.
And that's turned the game around in this particular phase, and they've got the penalty. The high shots on Ryan Esders. And before Esders can take exception, referee Tim Roby steps in.
Well, the speed of which York were playing this ball, Ryan Esders, it's Anthony Bowman who gives the penalty away. Here's the break. They weren't staying around, and he just goes forward, stays focused, doesn't panic, just turns Miles Greenwood inside and out, doesn't look for the miracle play, Matt Garside.
And here they are, a result of that, they've got the penalty. So they've got the opportunity to put the first points on the board here. 12.5 minutes gone. 100 points plus in it the last time these two met. Here is Sutton now. Haynes. Thorman now. Thorman, a little skip from him, and then Nathan Freer. Freer, and another former Hull Academy player. There are several players with Hull and Hull KR links out there. Thorman. Ball into Thackeray, and Thackeray is just short of the line. Thackeray plays it. Quick pass for Benson, and is Benson over? I think he is. The referee isn't so certain. Is Ian Smith certain, the video ref? That's what matters now.
I don't think he's got this down.
Well, is it Paul Smith that just gets underneath Benson? You can see he's clamped that ball. Does he ground that ball?
That ball's down for me. That's a try, surely.
You're right, Bill.
Well,
On first look, I weren't so sure.
He tries everything, Paul Smith, doesn't he? He just picks a line, Alex Benson, and there you can see the ball over the line. I'm sure Ian Smith will give the decision that this is the first try of the match.
And it's Alex Benson's first of the season. And that's exactly the start. It's taken 12 minutes to get, but exactly what the York City Knights wanted. Alex Benson, first of the campaign, and it came off the back of that great break by Garside.
And they were under pressure, they were defending the line, and Garside, just watch him, he's looking around for support. Nobody's with him, he doesn't look to kick the ball, he doesn't look for the panic play, he just goes down, he plays the ball quick, they get a penalty. Ryan Esders it is who gets the penalty. It's the swinging arm from Bowman. And what you want as a prop forward on the ball, on the line, you want to just hit a line. And Alex Benson, he did just that and scores the opening try of the game.
Chris Thorman, 44 for the season now from him. And York ahead by 6 points to 0. And the coach, Dave Woods, well, he knows there's a long way to go in this game. They've been in contention in quite a few games this season.
Well, it's Alex Benson's try, but for me, Anthony Thackeray does a lot of the work here. He hits the line, gets no joy, plays the ball in it, allows that fractured defence for Benson to run out.
Benson, another ex-Hull man, came here via Doncaster, and now captaining the side, even though Thorman is back in action. And there he is playing the ball, the try scorer. As I said, York have been in contention in games. They're in contention against Halifax when they played them at the Shea last month. They ended up losing 38-76.
Well, Bill, they've just got to keep playing like this. They're pressuring Halifax when they've got the ball. Defensively, they look very strong, but they can't make mistakes bringing the ball away from the line. Just a simple ball and a simple mistake.
It's very tight to the line though, Tez. When you're that close to your try line, I don't think Anthony Thackeray should be putting his players under that much pressure. Nice early pass, low risk players away from your own line.
Steve Lewis couldn't take the pass, and so it's Halifax in possession. Haley plays the ball. Bezic. Here is Ryan Clayton, newly graduated. Bezic, Cherry home now. That's a stray pass from Cherry home. It went behind Bowman, so Halifax have to regroup, and Bowman losing momentum, losing territory. 3 tackles gone. Danny Jones. Bannister. 4 tackles gone as Bannister plays the ball. Esder's taking his time. Cherry home now. That's the 5th tackle. Now then, what will Danny Jones come up with? It's down the other side, and it's quick hands. Clayton Fieldhouse, and then into the hands of White, and into the corner. And the try, a quick response from this Halifax side, and the Fax supporters here at the Huntingdon Stadium, that's what they like to see. Quick hands, slick passing, great skill from this Halifax side, and Paul White into the corner.
Well, there's one thing for sure: if you invite Halifax into your danger area, you're going to concede tries, and it's Steve Lewis who drops that ball. Bob Bezic, he fakes to go right, pushes the ball left, and Paul White. They are a fantastic side, Halifax. They like to play on the front foot. They've got so many players who push up in support, and you can see Steve Bannister, he just gets too far interested for Paul White to go in for Halifax's try.
Paul White, one of the prolific try scorers in this Halifax side. He got a hat-trick against York in that 76-38 win a few weeks ago. And here's Danny Jones. Of course, Lee Patterson still out. Another one of the injured players for this Halifax team. And Jones has missed this with that one. Hit the uprights. 6-4 the score here in York. There is Andy Proctor in the middle there. Martin Gonzalez alongside him.
Just look at the subtlety on this pass from Ryan Fieldhouse. Thinks about passing it, and then he holds it for a split second more, and that just commits 2-4. Great work from the centre.
Ryan Fieldhouse starting this evening. Dylan Nash on the bench, one of the changes for Halifax from last week's victory over the Widnes Vikings. But pretty even Stevens in this first quarter so far. York still holding the 6-4 lead, but now they realise they cannot afford to gift Halifax possession.
Well, they probably need now a couple of positive sets. As we said earlier on, conceded 66 points last week, and Halifax are a side that when they do start playing on the front foot, it's very, very hard to stop the momentum. 19 minutes to go against Widnes. They were 12 points behind. They ended up coming from behind, winning by 2 points.
Get your foot on it.
Chandler now over the 40-metre line. That's the 5th tackle, and Bezic just dinks one over the top, and Bush waited for it to come to him, and then Clayton, well, he bounces off the tackle of Clayton, but that's where the bouncing stops.
Well, I think that was a better chase than it was a kick. Bob Bezic would have been better advised to put that kick into the pockets and make Tom Bush turn around rather than let it bobble on the floor like that.
And it will bobble on this pitch. It's very firm, very pitted, and it's got some unusual markings on it, which you might notice. I think there's a javelin area somewhere around here, so I hope they're not practicing this evening. At the other end, there's a hammer net, so could get a bit lively if somebody's got this place double booked.
What about the shot put? I want one of them on me head.
Thorman almost through. Thackeray kicks over the top, inviting Bush to chase, but that'll find touch.
Another good kick from Thackeray. Just dinks it over the line. That pocket area that we talked about, it just bounces off the island. Thackeray and the York City Knights, they'll be pleased with that. I've just heard somebody from the crowd say that maybe you've already been hit in the face by a shot put.
Heads in.
Not me, of course.
So Halifax have to come from deep, and that's progress for the York City Knights. Lewis making the tackle, along with Ryan Esders. Esders, really popular figure back at York after his spell in the capital with Harlequins, but not popular for that one. Just as I say that, Esders is penalised. Not popular with the referee anyway.
Esders and Freer all around the neck of the Halifax player. You can't do that. They're trying to buy an extra second, slow that player the ball down of Halifax, and they've done it illegally on that occasion.
Michaeli Ezu into the action from the bench for Halifax. Here's Chandler now.
He really is your typical impact player, Michaeli Ezu. Massively changed the rhythm of the game last weekend, and I think maybe when Halifax picked the team this week, Michaeli Ezu, even though he's on the bench, he'd have been the first name down on the sheet.
Chandler doing well there to get that pass away as he fell to the ground. Then Bannister trying to go on the outside, but Esders makes the tackle. But quick play the ball, Greenwood. And good defence from York there to hold him up. Thackeray in there. Bezic. Jones stabs the kick in. Chandler will chase, and that's going to be picked up. I think it was Haynes who got there. Beg your pardon, it was Thorman who was scooting across.
Tremendous skill from the Geordie. Another occasion where a player has just stuck his foot out. I think Spuggy Thorman, as he's known.
Well, that was, I tell you, that was his Wallsend Boys Club training from his football days.
He did well to get on it. And just as that happens, one of his teammates, Nathan Freer, spills possession.
But remember, last time they made a mistake, they conceded a try. He must switch on in defence in this area of the park now.
Big Nathan Freer, all 6'4" of him. Not impressed. Here's James Haley, and Haley, another thing to look out for in his testimonial year is that game against the Burley Bears coming up in October. October the 21st, I think it is, and that'll be quite an occasion. On and off the field, I should imagine. Bezic.
Again, good goal line defence from York. Nowhere to run for Halifax.
There might be now. Jones trying to get the pass away, but they've got him all wrapped up. Did he lose that? Suspicion of a fumble there as Danny Jones hit the ground. It was on the blind side of the referee. Here's Michaeli Ezu, but from a standing start, maybe not quite as damaging, just a little less damaging. Bezic stabs the kick in, and it's another kick that's going to come up for York.
Well, York are stopping Halifax playing. You can just see the amount of work that they're doing for each other. The communication on the goal line defence again. The ball coming off a York player. The one coming up with it, I think it's Ben Jones.
Wait, lads. Wait.
Little juggle by Benson as he took that pass, and Nathan Freer this time holds on to it, bounces off the challenge of Ezu first time, which is some achievement.
Normally you bounce backwards.
Exactly. It's a good run from Ben Jones.
Wait. Go.
Thackeray.
Touched,
that was touched, and the referee says they're all onside. And then White fields the ball and runs it back, but the chasers are there for York.
It's very interesting what Halifax do whenever a kick is put in. Both wingers and fullback, they're back ready to collect that ball, knowing that that's their strength. One of the players, Miles Greenwood, on the ball at the minute. Normally, wingers and fullback will split it, so there's only two back normally. So interestingly, three back for the Halifax club.
Here's Bowman starting, despite the fact Ben Black is fit again after his knee operation. That look forward, that distinctly forward, but officialdom missed out on that one.
You're right, Bill, very flat on these runs.
He's got it back, it's 4.
4 tackles gone. Jones, and that ball's come down, and Lee has picked it up. Referee will bring him back. Jack Lee is going, he's not listening to the whistle. He thinks he's scored, the crowd thinks he's scored. Mr. Roby thinks otherwise.
Well, Chris Thorman's run straight up to the referee and said, can we not go to the video referee to check this?
Is there a knock on here?
It's going to be a scrum.
Danny Jones putting it back on the inside. Has Lee touched it at that point, as he's effecting that tackle, as he's stuck an arm out?
I'm sure he touches this ball.
Look at the reaction of Bob Bezic.
The line of the ball changes.
Time's off, lads.
But Jack Lee played to the whistle. He took his chance, unfortunately. It's not a try for York.
Another lesson, another indicator there from Halifax. Unless they run hard and strong from deep, they're going to get dished up. Nathan Freer give Danny Jones a real shot in the side.
Greenwood from the scrum that goes the way of Halifax, much to the displeasure of the York supporters below us here.
2. Move! Hold.
Bezic. Here's Bowman now. Jones, and Jones shaped to put the kick in.
3. Move! Just shot the line.
Does that a lot, Danny Jones. If he doesn't like the shape of his flank players outside, he sticks hold of it and comes back inside.
Here's Michaele Azu.
4.
Charging through, and good defence stopping him. Bezic. Jones gets the pass away, but it's flung out wide to Paul White, and White having to retreat to retrieve it. Does well though, now straightening up, but runs straight into good defence, and that's the 5th. Bowman puts the kick in, and Thorman gets there first. Read that one well, did the York City Knights scrum half.
Well, they look frustrated, Halifax, at the minute. Every time they get down here, they're looking to score a try. They're not putting the big attacking kicks up. They're dinking them along the ground. But York, their urgency to get down on that ball and cover it and make sure that they take that danger away, it's all there for all to see.
3. Move! Square, lads.
So,
Hold.
25 minutes gone, and York ahead by 6 points to 4.
4.
Benson with the try, goal by Thorman.
Wait. Go.
And York certainly doing better than they did when these two sides met last month.
I think Halifax contributing to that, not finishing the sets off well. Kicking game a little bit poor. They'll need to pick that up if they want to come away with those 2 vital points.
Good chase, 2-4 in there to make the tackle on, and they've stolen the ball. Estes has got that ball, and Ryan Estes, is he over the line? He's just short, I think. The referee, Tim Roby, will say, what went on there, please, video ref?
Well, Ryan Estes, he doesn't give up on this.
We're checking it all, don't worry. Checking it all.
And again, a good kick from York. They take the ball up the other end of the park. And Ryan Estes, was he just too big and strong? And does he get over the line and get the second try for the York City Knights? White, he brings it back.
I think there's
2 in the tackle there.
Yeah. Well, 2-4, and then he pulls out of that tackle.
Is he out of the tackle at the point the ball is stolen?
Well, this is what the video referee Ian Smith will be looking for. Where's the contact? Does he lend his weight?
He's 2-4 smart there and realises what's going on.
Well, does Ryan Estes call for this? Just get hold of the ball. I think he does. Just look at the power from him. I think he's prevented from scoring that try from White because he gets back. And then does he take the ball off Estes? He knows that he's made a boo-boo.
Is there 2 in this tackle?
He looks to strip this ball, and then I think that there is 2 in the tackle, and this could be a penalty to York City Knights if it's not a try.
Ryan Fieldhouse just arrived at the crucial moment there. Now then, this is going to take some sorting out from the video ref. Don't think it's a try.
No, he didn't get over the try line. 2-4, he pulls out the tackle. White strips that ball. Is it a penalty? Or is it a play the ball?
Well, the referee decides, or the video ref decides, it's York's play the ball. No penalty conceded.
So it's a York play the ball. And it was Paul White who come up with it, or Miles Greenwood who come up with the ball.
That is an interesting interpretation.
So Ryan Estes gets the ball stripped, and then Miles Greenwood comes away with the ball.
Well, York aren't complaining. Right on that try line, and a knock on from Estes. Was it Estes?
Well, this is the
Jack Lee, I think it was.
Well, this is the concentration that you need. You've got to make sure you switch on for every play, and that's just a little fumble from Jack Lee behind dummy half. You can see frustration in his face.
Right, I'll get to it. Wait, Danny, let him in, mate.
Well, a scrappy passage of play there. but Esda's going so close, and then they get a great opportunity for a set of 6 right on the Halifax line, and they blow it at the first tackle. Dylan Nash is on the field for Halifax.
But they're giving themselves a chance, and that's what will impress the coach Dave Woods, because to come back after the shellacking the week before shows that you've got great spirit in the camp, and they've got to make sure that they keep on playing for the first 53 minutes. And there's a good shot on Michael from Nathan Threa.
Third time that York have been on or over the Halifax line. One of them has counted, that try. And that kick finds fullback James Haynes. And again, Bowman this time, I think, trying to wrestle the ball from him.
Well, positional sense from James Haynes. He didn't have to move for that ball. Dennis Toofer, he gets in now, tries to take the ball forward. York City Knights forwards have been doing an awful lot of work in defence right at the middle of the channel.
That ball is good offload from Freer.
Jack Lee, the number 9, Tez, you've talked about defence. He's done 16 tackles, 28 minutes. That's a big workload.
Thorman, little dummy from him. Maybe not the pace of old. And Haley makes the tackle with the assistance of Dylan Nash. Now here's Brett Waller playing the ball. Thorman once more. This time Thorman dinks one over the top. Turns Warrensey around, and Warrensey and Greenwood almost getting a tangle there. Good job, in fact, that Greenwood was the first man on the scene, because the next man was in a light blue shirt of York.
Well, there's one for you, Bill. Was Miles Greenwood offside then?
I thought that, Tez, yeah.
Here's the kick from Thorman. It's played at by Warrensey. Miles Greenwood comes from an offside position. Should have been a penalty.
Was he in the in-goal area?
If you're in the in-goal, you're not offside, but...
Well, I thought he was out of that.
He was. Touch and go, that one. But anyway, that's a great drive back from Brett Waller. Coach Dave Woods expecting a big game from Waller. He said he had a stinker last time out, and he wants a response from him this evening. He's a big unit, Brett Waller, and they get the penalty to York.
That's a bad penalty, that, to give away. Dylan Nash trying to defend the goal line, just has a hand inside, just trying to buy that extra second. More pressure for the Halifax team.
Well, you might have expected York to go for the 2 there with Chris Thorman kicking the goals, but their tails are up, and Brett Waller will get the 4 instead. Well, his coach was looking for a big game from him tonight, and he's got what he wanted. And 24-year-old Brett Waller, another ex-Skirler player, comes onto the field and makes an impact. And York, just on the half-hour mark, extend their advantage here. The side second from bottom in the table, desperately battling relegation, are battling desperately here.
Well, it's the sign of a confident side when they have the shot of going for 2 points. But Jack Lee, just look at Michael Yezu. He takes the wrong option. Dylan Nash, there's no communication between the 2 men in the middle of the park. He fakes to go out the back. And Brett Waller, after getting a serve from his coach, has come on, made the impact and scored the try. Well, that's what it means to Dave Woods.
Former Barla international, Brett Waller. Now here's Chris Thorman, former England international, adds 2 more points. And York ahead by 12 points to 4 here at the Huntington Stadium. Unlikely scoreline this, given what happened between these 2 sides just last month. 20 tries between them, and Halifax thrashing York. But at the moment, York really digging in.
Well, that try, Bill, is a good example to all players who end up running that dummy run, thinking they won't get it. Brett Waller ends up with a ball in his arms. He doesn't know how it's got there. He doesn't know what to do with it. And he just gets the call from his teammates. Go, you big thing.
First chance to hear from Rod Studd on the sidelines tonight. Rod.
Bill, it's been threatening to rain ever since we arrived here mid-afternoon, and it's finally starting to arrive here. Some pretty big spots starting to fall here, and you've mentioned already the surface out there here at the stadium, and it's very crusty on top, it's very dry, and I think this rain could be fairly awkward. I think when it falls on that dry, crusty surface, they're going to be slip-sliding away out there. This isn't going to suit Halifax, who are already trailing, of course, by 8 points.
Yeah, it's not everybody's favourite ground, this Huntington Stadium. And there has been some heavy rain around the country.
He's outside. Prez, give 10.
And that kick
Go on, not you, go on.
is fielded by Greenwood. And Greenwood gets a slap from Sutton there as he went to the ground.
Good confident take from Miles Greenwood, an important player on the pitch now. Johnny Presley has entered the frame for the York City Knights. He'll certainly spark up. He got one around the chops, did Miles.
10 now. 3.
So a test of Halifax's resilience here.
He didn't mean it, Bill.
And Greenwood still having treatment in back play as Rob Warrancy comes forward and then goes sideways. Presley in to make the tackle, along with Garside. And then they stand toe-to-toe with Big Frank, and Waller it was who met him. Jones, kick over the top, it's a good one, and Tufa is scrambling for it, and the winger did well to get that play on, says the referee, and Dennis Tufa needs no second invitation. Quick play the ball from him.
Well, it was good vision from Tufa, because he was pulling the pressure from Rob Warranty. Again, he's in behind dummy half now to bring this ball forward. That's what you want from your outside backs. There you go, there's Warranty, putting pressure under him, but he dives straight on that ball.
York growing in confidence. They lead 12-4. Here is Thorman now, ball back on the inside to Thackeray, who was released by Widners back in April. Thorman stabs the kick in, it ricochets off Dylan Nash. Was it played at, says the referee? No, it wasn't.
I'm not so sure. I think it's probably hard for me to expect Dave Sutton. We can't quite tell from...
You thought he should catch that?
Well, I don't know whether he's left it because he's thought, you know, we're going to get head and feed here, head and feed from the scrum, but Dave Sutton left it.
It was a slip fielder's catch if he was going to go for it. Really did ricochet rapidly off Dylan Nash, and yeah, it was Halifax who got head and feed. Now then, can they just step up the pace before the break? He may be a little bit lethargic. There's no lethargy about this guy, the former Hull Kingston Rovers prop forward, Michaeli Aizu, PNG international. Bowman. Ben Black waiting on the bench to come back into the action after his knee operation, but young Bowman's got his chance at the start. Nash pops the ball over the top. Michaeli Aizu lets it go wisely, finds Jones, and Jones finds the gap, almost finds a way through Danny Jones, and now 5 tackles gone, and they're just a few metres away from that York City Knights line. And can they get over it? Bowman gets the pass away, goes backwards to Fieldhouse, and that'll be the turnover. And there's a Halifax player in trouble in back play. I think it's Bowman who is struggling.
It's very sloppy, Bill. Again, I'm sure Andy Proctor, when he gets his team in at half-times, he will say, we must finish our sets better. We see the injury here from Bowman. I think it's his right knee, goes right underneath his body. He's certainly in some pain and discomfort.
Well, they've got enough injury problems as it is, Halifax, and this is...
Oh, it's his ankle.
You can just see he gets it trapped. Is it under Esders?
Yeah. Well, this might be the Ben Black introduction that Halifax have been waiting for. You don't like to see it at the cost of another player. There's Andy Proctor. Martin Gonzalez on his left.
You see the rain falling as well, and well, Anthony Bowman started the season out of favour at Halifax, but come back into the reckoning, held his place.
Have you got someone on already?
But Ben Black, who underwent knee surgery a few weeks ago, back in action then. So another injury for Halifax to worry about. That's, I think, number 6 on the sidelines. Penkovic, Gannon, Goddard, Barlow, Patterson, and now Bowman. Look at the rain teeming down here.
2. Move!
Well, what conditions? The conditions, you've got to make sure that you play the conditions and control that ball. Halifax are a side that do like to throw the ball around, but last week it was interesting, the coach Damien Ball saying you've got to make sure that we control the ball, make sure we promote it when we can. Good shot from Watine.
Stop Brett Waller in his tracks there. Into the last 5 minutes of the first 40 here, and York holding an unlikely 12 points to 4 lead. Watine pushing his luck there. Thorman very quickly closed down but gets away from Jones, but then thumps a kick straight downfield into the hands of Greenwood. And Greenwood turns, runs it back. Good chase from York to meet him and looking to get him over the sideline. They do.
That is fantastic defence. Chris Thorman, he just kicks that ball. He's not bothered where it goes, he just kicks for distance. Greenwood looks to get outside of Esders, but look at the strength of Esders. He knows exactly where the touchline is, and it's like a Cumberland throw over his shoulder to get Miles Greenwood into touch. Big play from the big centre.
Been in the wars, Greenwood. You can see the smack he got from Dave Sutton on the bridge of his nose, and then unceremonially bundled into touch. Esders and 2-4 doing well there.
Rugby players don't tend to feel sorry for their opponents. He's got a clout, he's a bit vulnerable. Let's attack him, let's go for the kill.
Here's Reece Clark now. Another of the student internationals out there. Clark plays the ball. Presley, Thorman, Thackeray and Thackeray.
3.
Hoping to find a gap, but Bezic and Bannister shut the door in his face. Presley now. 4 tackles gone. Presley, Thackeray, that ball's gone to ground. This Yorker saying it's 6 to go. They might not need them. Held up, says the referee. That's the turnover.
Miles Greenwood did very well then, very well. Put his body around the ball, clung around it. James Haynes doing his best to get that ball down, denied by Miles Greenwood with a buff nose and everything.
5.
James Haynes close there on the last. And Thorman, oh, they'll get another set of 6, will they? That was batted down by James Haley, and York will get head and feed.
Well, that was a dangerous play from Chris Thorman. He takes the ball to the line, he's playing at the line. But look at that. If the Halifax player, Ben Black, would have controlled that ball, I'm sure that would have been a certain try.
Okay, lads.
It's very dangerous. You can see Black is anticipating that. He gets himself in between the player and the ball carrier. He just couldn't get that ball in.
York somehow managed to keep a hold of that ball after a terrible tangle, and then they get the penalty.
Off the ball here, is it off the ball?
Man taken out off the ball. It was
what are you doing, Chris?
Dave Sutton who was tackled off the ball, and on the sidelines Dave Wood saying let's go for 2.
Well, to take a 10-point lead in at half-time,
Right to the line, please, fellas.
after playing like they have done, they've challenged Halifax. Even when they've been defending the line, they've been challenging. Here you can see
right to the line, please,
Halifax player taken off the ball. Was it by Frank Watine?
And he was taken, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. You won't want to run into Frank Watine. He just takes his eye off the ball. Frank Watine stands his ground and bushwhacks him into the ground. But what a lift this will give them, Bill, going into half-time.
Stay behind you.
Thorman, the rain getting steadily heavier here in the east side of York. The crowd hushed as Thorman round the corner has missed.
Oh, ball. Drop out.
12-4 it remains. And Thorman,
in position, lads.
well, not showing too much emotion there, but will be cross with himself to say the very least. They'll get the ball back, will York, from this 20-metre dropout. Well, they should get the ball back.
Well, that's still a positive.
Haynes takes that one well.
Play on.
Word from the sidelines from Rod is that Anthony Bowman has got an ankle injury, right ankle, and that's another penalty. A hooter sounds, referee acknowledges.
Well, it's Frank Watine, he gets underneath. Haynes puts him in a dangerous position.
What are you doing, Chris?
Will Chris Foreman take 2 points?
He's going to go for 2.
Well, he fancies it.
Just give us 10.
And he's
Mark it.
very
Give
cunningly
us 10,
just managed to edge himself forward a metre or so while the referee was talking to the Halifax players. And
I think he was saying to the referee, "What's that there, sir?" And as he turned round, he walked forward.
look, isn't that Concord?
Chris, sorry, mate, just pull it back if you
Oh,
need.
he's on to him.
no.
He's on to him.
He's been rumbled.
Dennis, just
Spoil sport.
make sure you're behind, lads, please.
So Thorman, 5 metres inside his own half. He's got to give this one a good whack. Thorman, has it got the legs? It looks like it. It has. He's missed one from about 30 metres out just a moment ago. He's landed one from inside his own half to put York 14 points to 4 ahead at the break. And Dave Woods, well, he was wanting a response from his side after the embarrassment of that defeat at Lee at the weekend. And Halifax have felt the force of this York fight back. But it's a below par performance from Halifax so far. Just the one try from them